How's it going, Crusaders, and welcome back to another Bible study. If you guys saw my post yesterday, me and my wife both got to get baptized together yesterday, and what a blessing that was. Actually, blessing is probably an understatement to what yesterday was, guys. Just, the journey that me and my wife have went on together, and, you know, just looking at yesterday to how far we've both came is not only humans in general, but as a couple, as Christians, and parents, and everything in between, all of that combined. And to just be able to do that with her yesterday was, as I said, blessing is an understatement to what yesterday was, and all the glory goes to God because of that. So let's go ahead and get into today's study, guys. So we're checking out Genesis 1:4, the first day, part 2. So we've got a couple of similarities. We've got a couple of similarities when it comes to the Bible verse itself, but we've also got a lot of diversity. So we're going to check out the first similarity, which is the King James Version and the New King James Version. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. Next up, we're checking out the CSB and the NASB. God saw that the light was good, and God separated the light from darkness. Now, the rest of these are all on their own. The NIV, God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from darkness. The ESV, and God saw that the light was good, and God separated the light from darkness. The NLT, and God saw that the light was good, then he separated the light from the darkness. And the AMP, God saw that the light was good, and he affirmed and sustained it, and God separated the light from darkness. And I'm going to add this in here. If you check out 2 Corinthians 4:6, you'll see a little reminder of that. So now getting into the study itself, we've got 4 lessons today. And they're short lessons, but we do have 4 lessons that I want to check out today. So, firstly, let's check out light. Now, this is not the sun, which was created on the 4th day, which is in verse 16 of Genesis, but some fixed light source outside of the earth. The earth passed through a day and night cycle in reference to this light. Now, you look at the word good. The word contains less of a judgment than a designation of purpose and correspondence to God's will, indicating the moral goodness of the creation. So that was the first lesson. But, you look at light and you look at good, and there's a lot of stuff going on there that you kind of just pass over, which doesn't need to be. You should, take a second and really try to look at that translation and dissect what's actually going on. So the second lesson I want to get into, another basic truth of the Bible, is that God saw. Now, this means God is fully aware of his creation. The term good, used here for the first 7 times in this chapter, is to evaluate God's creative work, which can be used to express both high quality and moral excellence. The physical universe is a good place because God made it. God found satisfaction in his labor. This is the first instance where God separated the twin realms of light and darkness, day and night. So that was the second lesson. The third lesson I want to look at, the light was good. So everything that God brings into being is good. So this becomes an important refrain throughout the chapter. And the fourth and final little lesson I want to look at here is it is good. I keep saying good and light, and I just want to make sure that when we're looking at these words, it doesn't go over our heads. So it is good, and that it serves its purpose to dispel darkness. The darkness is not good. So, basically 4 separate lessons on just 2 words. But as I said, that is the whole point of these Bible studies, is so we do not just go over the verse and don't take the time to really see what's going on. And we dissect each and every letter of every single word to see, as I've said multiple times, what is truly going on. So, guys, that was the Bible study for today for verse 4 in Genesis. So I want to check out now the Bible verse of the week. And it doesn't matter if you are a Christian or not. I promise you have heard this verse, but we've been talking about it a little bit for our Bible studies at my church I go to on Wednesdays. And I just want us to really look at this verse and just, as we're doing exactly with the Bible study, stop and dissect every single letter of every single word and really take in and reflect and just take it as a whole. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. So that is the Bible verse that I want us to look at every single day this week. And this is the Bible verse that I want us to teach our kids, to teach ourselves, to hold true to yourself, and to just take it with you every single day. And my question for the Crusaders of the week: what can you do this week to spend time in God's presence through his creation? Half of you might be like, that's an easy question. The other half of you might think that's a silly question. But, really think about that question, Crusaders, and, come up with your own answer. And as I say every single Bible study, answer it in the comments, answer it to yourselves. Do whatever you see fit when it comes to answering that question. But that is a question that I would like for you to answer. So what can you do this week to spend time in God's presence through his creation? Might be a silly question, might be a intellectual question, whatever you want to call it. Just answer it. So guys, that was the Bible study, Genesis 1:4, the first day, part 2. And I will catch you all Wednesday for the question of the week. Thanks, Crusaders.